Hey, what's going on YouTube? In today's commentary, I'm going to bring news about Bethesda games, but first I'm going to make a note about the gameplay you're seeing. I'm touring Skyrim with the Tropical mod installed and an ENB preset, which makes the graphics look phenomenal. First, you'll see Falkreath, which I think is the best place to show tropical Skyrim because it's in the south and it's already very dense in forest. Next, you're going to see the plains of Whiterun, and finally Riverwood. But the mod I am most excited to show though is the grass mod called Dat Grass. There's a dramatic increase in grass quality and density, and it fits well with tropical Skyrim because tropical Skyrim is definitely not the frozen tundra from regular Skyrim. However, you'll definitely see some times where my frames tank just due to the very demanding nature of having so much grass on screen at the same time. But I'll talk about the technical aspects of mods and getting Skyrim to look its best later. Now I'm going to move on to the main topic of this commentary. The Skyrim development team is moving on to other projects, and they've announced that there will be no more DLC for Skyrim. As Skyrim is coming to a close, first I want to thank the development team for giving us one of the best games of this generation. Not only is Skyrim one of the best games of this generation, it will surely be a staple in lists of the best all-time games. I put in hundreds of hours with different characters and I'm still discovering new things every day. As for DLC, I wish they were more transparent with there not being any more DLC after the PC and the PS3 release of Dragonborn. In one of my older commentaries, which by the way was the most unfocused and incoherent commentaries I've ever made, I talked about a possible leaked new DLC called Redguard. It made sense for more DLC because the Fallouts had 5 each. But nevertheless, it is what it is. I very much enjoyed each of the Skyrim DLCs. My favorites in order are Dragonborn, Dawnguard, and Hearthfire. They each contribute to the game in positive ways, and they have great value relative to cost. But there never was a Skyrim DLC comparable in size to the Shivering Isles expansion of the Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion. I'm going to draw your attention over to the gameplay real quick. I changed all of Skyrim's horses into zebras to fit in better with the tropical theme. This mod will be linked in the description, and if you look in the top left hand corner, I have fraps on as a frames per second counter overlay, and you'll see just how many frames I'm losing due to how much grass is on screen at the same time. Now, the Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion Shivering Isles expansion is one of the best DLCs of all time. Others that are really good are the Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare Zombies pack, which is playable as its own game, the Grand Theft Auto 4 episodes from Liberty City, which gave you the Ballad of Gay Tony and The Lost and the Damned, and more recently Mass Effect 3 Citadel is fantastic. I personally did not play the Fallout expansions, and if I'm missing some expansions that should be considered on some of the best all-time lists, remind me of them, but the development team for Skyrim will still patch the game as needed. Coming up here, you're going to see another example of me losing epic amounts of frames. Until the Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, we still have literally infinite replay value due to being able to mod it. If you haven't gotten Skyrim yet, or if you've only got it for consoles, I highly recommend you picking up a copy. The core game of Skyrim is not graphically intensive, you don't need a high-end PC to play it. You can even run the game off of a laptop you've gotten in the last 2 or 3 years. Some mods make your game look much better with minimal impact on performance, like the HD texture mods and the static mesh improvement mods. We'll have to see what comes next from the Skyrim development team, whether it's Fallout 4 or the Elder Scrolls 6. Now today, there was a live action trailer released for Bethesda's new game. Another Bethesda development team, headed by Resident Evil creator Shinji Mikami's studio, Tango Gameworks, created an IP called Evil Within. Bear in mind though, it's not by the same studio that developed Skyrim. In Evil Within's case, Bethesda is Bethesda the publisher, not Bethesda the developer. The trailer for the game is live action, there's no gameplay in it, and it's really difficult to explain what's going on. There's classical music playing in the background, there's somebody at work on a table with a variety of crude instruments of harm or torture, a thick man with shards of glass sticking out is standing, there's a bloodied woman with 4 arms, and I can't make any sense out of what's going on at all. The only thing that's been said about the game so far is that it's a blend of action and horror. The game will hit Xbox 360, PS3, PC, and next-gen consoles in 2014. In the coming weeks, you can definitely expect a lot more to be said about the game and maybe even a gameplay tease. The last Bethesda published game I played that wasn't Skyrim was Dishonored, and it was one of my favorites of 2012. So after this discussion on gaming news, I'm going to talk about the mods you're seeing on screen, Everything I'm talking about in this video will be linked in the description. Obviously, the main mod is Tropical Skyrim, which is used in conjunction with the Sharpshooters ENB preset. The ENB settings make Skyrim look like next-gen PC graphics, but they are very system demanding. Skyrim does get bottlenecked at times by the CPU because it is a very cache memory intensive game. That's why the PS3 has so many problems with it. There's some times where I'm getting 20 frames per second, maybe fewer, and only 50% GPU usage, which means that my CPU is preventing me from getting smoother gameplay. My CPU is still one of the best. It's the Intel i7, and it has turbo boost up to 3.9 GHz, so you can really tell how intense these graphics are. There was first demand for a mod with this much grass after a modder showed screenshots from his game where he increased the density of his grass using the creation kit. You can visit his website, it's in the description of this video, but be warned, every click you make leads to an ad. It's really annoying. He takes good screenshots, and an IGN editor posted them on the front page of IGN, so his beautiful grass was very much in demand. This mod, Dat Grass, is recommended by the author only to be used for screenshots because you can see on my frame overlay at times it makes the game unplayable when it gets to 5 frames per second. With my PC, every once in a while I just have to wait for heavy periods of loading, then my frame rate goes back to normal. So I still find the game playable with this grass mod, and it's totally worth it in my mind because it makes the game look gorgeous. So give these mods a shot. Installing an ENB preset isn't as easy as just downloading the mod through Nexus. You have to add the injector or wrapper into your Skyrim directory. But don't worry too much about the specifics, there is a detailed step-by-step in the readme file when you download the ENB mods. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you continue to enjoy Skyrim because there's still going to be more content coming out from the modding community. I'm definitely excited for the next Bethesda game, Evil Within. If you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next video.